All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 136. My name is Mr. McLogan, and this is Open Live Q&A. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in on this live stream. I'm so happy to see some and many of you joining on. Maybe this is your first live stream, or maybe you just realized that crap, school is getting back in session, and I might be needing some help throughout the way. So welcome, no matter what. I do go live each and every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, you can go ahead and pre-submit your questions at any time. And that's where basically I'll go ahead and get through these questions. Now, I know probably more than the normal amount of you are probably more interested in the title of this week's live stream, which was the tutoring. I will get to that in just a second. But for those of you that always do kind of have math questions as they are coming up, and you're like, hey, if I do have math questions, how do I get, what can I do about that? Then this is where you guys can go ahead and submit your questions. So you guys can just go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A and submit math questions. I do have math questions. I do kind of like go from the how they are submitted and I review them, and we will be going over them later in tonight. And then also, if you have any, not the challenge, we'll get to that. Where's my other one? Oh yeah. And then also just a reminder, if that one put up there, I'll put the Discord server down below as well. I would highly recommend, if you are taking a math and you are looking for some help tonight, or not tonight, but throughout this year, then I'd highly recommend checking out the Discord server. You can tutor, you can become a tutor and get better at math that way. You can also ask questions. It doesn't matter what math you're in. The Discord community is basically designed, it's a free Discord community for you to be able to get questions, because obviously I cannot answer everybody's questions. I wish I could, but I am planning on getting a little bit more in depth with some of you with your help. And that is hence the reason why we have the title that we do for tonight's live stream. So you want to join my class? Well, I have way too many things going up there. I will kind of post that up there, and then I'll just keep these going. I guess oh shoot. Let's go ahead and let's put the Discord underneath. And then obviously for those of you that are interested in the tutoring, I'll talk about those in just a second. Why is this so small? I will be talking about actually my pre-calculus course next week for you guys. So those of you that are taking pre-calculus and interested on that, then me more than happy for on that. And then, yeah, there's going to be applications that you guys can go ahead and submit on the Google link, the forms down below. Obviously typing in that is not going to really work. So you can definitely go ahead and check in the description, as well as on this chat. You guys can go ahead and type in from on there. So, College Calc, I will say I've already got a couple of applications for calculus, and probably calculus is going to be probably not something I'm going to take on, just because it's something that I really want to work through this year. And so it's a little bit difficult to, I think, obviously, even if it's free, to be really a good quality tutor if it's, constantly I am, only going to be a couple steps ahead of you. And that's going to be a lot more work for me for on that regard. So I want to make sure that I kind of go back through, refresh myself. It's been a couple years since me going through calculus. And so I probably won't be picking up any calculus or like upper level mathematics. It's just not something I've, something that I want to put in some work, obviously, into, going through it, but I don't want to overwhelm myself having to review so much material from on there. But yeah, and I think anything, besides, up through middle school math and into high school math, we should be definitely pretty good from on there. So let's talk about a couple of the reasons. For those of you that were on my email list, you got an email today. If you're not on my email list, you can go ahead and submit a question and join on. I will also have another form for you guys to kind of go. You can also go to Free Math Videos, my regular website, which is in the description, and there's a lot of opt-ins for you guys to get in on there. But the main reason why I'm doing this, and again, it is free. I'm not charging you for any of my time or anything. The only tutoring that I do, which is a part of my course, pre-calculus course, which I'll talk about next week. So I don't offer my time for private tutoring. I do a little bit of group tutoring, but it's only for those that are inside of my calculus course, like pre-calculus course. That's it. So, but one thing I wanted to do, and I did this last year, and I am going to be picking up, I'm going to be doing some free group tutoring sessions coming up. We are going to do a giveaway actually of 30 minutes free tutoring. So for those of you that are on this track, if you guys actually would go to last week's live stream, which hold on, since I'm saying it right now, let me just go ahead and add it into the chat. But if you go to last week's live stream, I'll actually put it in the chat right now. And all you guys simply need to do is just any comment, whatever. I'm just going to do a random generation of those comments, and you can go ahead and win. So if you add a comment, do not do a live stream, and it doesn't count for this live chat. But if you do anything for any kind of chat or any comment in the previous live stream, then I will do a giveaway before I get into the math, because it always seems a lot of students want to do the giveaway. They don't want to wait till the end after we do the math. I mean, I don't know. People don't want to wait for math, but I mean, I can see, like, if I'm covering all these other people's problems, whatever this. So either way, before I transition to math, I will do a giveaway. And again, that is for a free 30 minutes tutoring session. And that is just me to kind of connect with you. That's not a part of what I'm trying to do. So I had this vision, and I wanted to kind of tell you guys, about this a little bit, where it came from. And then obviously I'll get to any additional questions you guys maybe have on here. But I had this vision where, I really kind of looked into what is the things that I miss most about teaching? What is the things that, I wanted to kind of recreate. And one of those things was like that relationship with your students, to really kind of see them from the beginning and take them all the way through the end, at the end of the year. And there's that transformation. There's that struggle that a lot of students have. There's the, the benefit of you being there and helping them and providing, assistance and advice throughout the whole year, not just one tutoring session. So at first I was like, oh, well, I'll just do some tutoring sessions, and like, that'll be kind of interesting. But then I was like, well, yeah, that's going to give somebody value. Obviously giving some free tutoring can definitely give some value, but I wanted to give something a little bit more. I wanted to give something where, that students could relate to somebody. Again, if it's a student, if it's a young student, if it's someone going back to school, it's somebody in, South America, somebody in North America, somebody in Europe, Australia, like whatever may be the case, that they, that people can like find some like relation, that they can relate to them, and they can relate to kind of the struggles and their kind of situations, and, what math they're going through, and just be able to, really kind of connect with that student and to be able to help them out throughout the year. And so I really thought that, the way to kind of do that would have somebody that, have multiple students. I clicked on 4 that I could really kind of be there for them, and to, kind of help them throughout the year. And hopefully just by recording that journey with the student, and allowing you guys to kind of see like behind the scenes of, students kind of going through that transformation, either it can inspire you, or hopefully, help you with the own struggles that you may be going on, maybe this year, or maybe next year, or maybe a previous year, that you can relate to all that. So that's why I'm doing it. And, I understand that, when I first started going, I remember the first time I ever went live, I was absolutely freaking out going live. And I'd never gone live before. I didn't know what to do. I'll get off the Discord server. Well, you guys still have questions, but I did not know what to do from on there. I was just like absolutely freaking out. But you get over it, right? And so I didn't want to charge anybody, money. Obviously for the tutoring, that's not really part of my business proposition. I feel like it was, if somebody's really going to be open to, asking questions online and having things recorded, and, obviously, post it on a YouTube channel, like they should, I want them to be, welcome and open for on that. So it's not for everybody. I do plan on having it recorded, and I do plan on, having it posted as a part of like a video on my channel. So I know that's not really going to work for a lot of people. I totally understand that. But there'll be some other options. Like I said, I answer questions on Sunday nights. I totally get it. If you prefer to have just private tutoring your own, or maybe like doing a group session that I'll be offering, for group session from on there. Like, I totally get it. So either way, if you are interested in that tutoring or this opportunity for like it's multiple sessions, then feel free to go ahead and submit your application. There's a couple questions that I do ask, as well as you submitting like a video to me, and post that into the forms. I do have a link in the description, as well as a link in the chat. I have it pinned to the chat, so you can definitely go and check it out from there. All right, so let me go and get to you guys' questions. It can be about math. Like again, if you have a math question, go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A. That is the easiest way for me able to do it, but I will try to get to. I do need to. What was I going to say? I will get to some of the questions that are in the chat. Well, if you don't, I might be able to help you out for the tutoring if that's something you're interested in. And then also next week, I will be giving out some pre-calculus course information. So I do offer a pre-calculus course. It is a paid course. Obviously, I have a ton of free pre-calculus content, but if you are looking for much more in-depth help with pre-calculus, that's what I would offer my pre-calculus course. Like I said, I have the course. It has opportunity for, group coaching from on there for like the tutoring sessions, and I give away a whole bunch of value for my course. So if that's something you're interested in, that might be something that would work for you. Again, that is a cost though. So it's a little bit different value there. Do you still do questions on Sundays for say, unfortunately, I do not do anything above calculus. It's just been so long since I took the calculus series. I don't do a lot of upper level math questions, and even like just basic calculus. It's been so long. So I kind of shut it off at that point. But one thing I'm looking forward to doing, hopefully this year, is to be able to keep on going a little bit more in depth with my math to get more up to that place. Absolutely not. No, I'm hoping for this tutoring to actually only have like maybe one, or maybe one, probably at least one. I would not like more than 2 people from the United States. So I really do want this to be I do really want to branch out, right? Like at first I was thinking, oh, well, I could easily just find some students, in Jacksonville where I live, right? And that'd be easy. But that's not really going to be as fun. Like I want to expand outside of my realm. I want to take advantage of the YouTube community and like the internet, to be able to find people that are in a location that I am not familiar with, that maybe are taking a math that I'm not familiar with, that I can try to work with. So yeah, I am. I'm probably, since my channel is mostly United States based, I'm assuming I'll probably get a lot of United States applications. But I would like to have less than, at least 2, hopefully, from the United States. So I am looking definitely outside of the country for sure. Hey, Dolly, do you tutor pure math? No, I haven't taught pure math. Or at least we had a course in our class that we did pure math. I'm familiar with a little bit of it, but nothing where I'd feel comfortable like tutoring from on there. Vice or incoming freshman, I would just get a workbook notes, and make sure you're writing down all those definitions and formulas and stuff like that, and constantly reviewing stuff. I would say the exact same thing for freshmen taking coordinate algebra, right? Make sure you're taking good notes, keep those notes, and like keep on reviewing those notes. Like every single Sunday, go back over like your notes, that you've been going over, making sure you're doing the work. I think it's sometimes, especially I think beginning of the year, we're very motivated. We're very like, I'm going to do everything. And then once we start to feel a little comfortable, we get to slack off. All right. Once we're like, oh, okay, I'm understanding things and I got this. And then we kind of like slow down a little bit. Don't do that. Make sure you are always stepped, because the worst thing that can happen, the worst feeling I think is like, oh, I understood all this stuff. I was feeling so good. And then what? Like, like a week later, you're like, oh crap, like what just happened? Like, why did I just fail? Why do I not know what's going on? It happens real quick. But yeah, so you just gotta be careful. I kind of feel shy to join, but it'd be really nice to join. Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm assuming you're referring to the tutoring, which I'm going to put up here, but I'm going to bring that down. It's kind of too big. But yeah, no, I get it, man. It's like, I don't even know what I would have done if I was in high school or college, to offering like free tutoring. Like, I don't know. I really think it's really, really important for people to be able to kind of tell the story, and also for like me to be able to connect with you. Like I did do some free tutoring last year, and like I'm fine with, like, I understand like you don't want to have your camera on, like, but it is very difficult, especially kind of going back through like those Zoom, it's closed, stuff like that. Like not being able to kind of connect with students, like seeing the eyes and like their facial expressions really does kind of make things difficult. So that's why I just kind of made the decision. I was like, all right, well, if, my main goal is really to have, my ability to help you out and your ability to be able to overcome your struggles. Like it's got to be fed through the camera. You got to be able to, and you got to be vulnerable, like in a sense, right? You got to be able to, accept that, like, hey, I'm struggle with some of this stuff, which is completely normal. But we've just incentivized, I think, so many students to pretend like that they shouldn't struggle with math, right? Or if they struggle with math, then they're not smart enough or not smarter than other students, which is just absolutely crazy. So we've kind of normalized that, unfortunately. So I'm hoping there's some students that are willing to be like, I don't care. I'm going to get help in math and I'm going to do awesome. So we'll be doing something like this again in the future. I'm currently only enrolled in physics. Yeah, I mean, right now this is my first time doing it. So I have no idea if it's going to work or how it's going to work. So yeah, I'm going to give it a shot, why not? Maybe we'll do it next year. Maybe we'll do 8 students next year. I have absolutely no idea. So I'm not sure my tuition. So I only have one course for the pre-calculus, and so I'm not sure how that would relate to whatever course you're taking in India. But as far as the tutoring, as far as this free tutoring or this tutoring session, I mean, that's completely free. So I'm planning on doing multiple sessions completely free. So if that's something you're interested in, just go ahead and check out the link for the tutoring. That's to apply for the tutoring, and yeah, go from there. As far as the course, the tuition for the course, I'll be talking about that next week. So if you're interested in that, then you can definitely go and check that out from there. So you got a question. Advice for learning good study habits. I was a gifted kid and never had to study for good grades until recent years. That's very, very common. Actually, I could have a video coming up on that. Now I don't know where to start. That's, oh man, such a great, I wish I could, wait, let me see. I can star that. Okay. All my favorites. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would advice for learning good study habits. I was a gifted kid. I think one thing I would just look back my videos, like doing cheat sheets. I think doing practice problems, is very important, and like spiral review. So I would say doing cheat sheets to organize all your notes, right? I have a couple videos on that. And then also I'd recommend to doing like spiral review. Like you should be constantly reviewing, right? Don't wait until the end. Don't wait till the night before the test. Like you should be constantly reviewing for your test. So spiral review problems. Like when I would do my homework, I would always like bring in problems from like previous chapters to keep that stuff fresh, right? That's how I like when my course, that's the thing that I kind of teach in my course. It's not just like what you're learning. Like you should always be remembering what you were previously were taught, right? And practicing that stuff. So I don't want your Algebra 1 problems. I swear it helps. Well, you're so welcome. I'm so happy to be able to hear that, Mike. Will your face or name be showed if we attend the tutoring? So yeah, so if you win so I'm going to do I'm going to do a free 30-minute tutoring session. I will do a free 30-minute tutoring session for a random person that goes ahead and random person that is going to be drawn tonight. Okay. For that, you don't need to show your face or your thing for the tutoring. That's perfectly fine. Whatever else, that's just kind of me getting some questions. However, for the tutoring, apply the free tutoring sessions, the like multiple tutoring sessions, yes, that is a requirement to be on camera. So that's why that's the kind of like the catch. That's the stipulation. Like there's no fee. I'm not charging for multiple tutoring sessions, but you're going to have to be on camera. It's going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on YouTube. I know, not the most ideal situation for everybody. But I'm hoping that for some students that is going to be perfectly fine for them. And they'll be like, hey, I can handle that. Right. And I totally get it. If you're like, heck no, I'm not going on your YouTube channel or I'm not showing my face or whatever else. Like I totally get it. It's not right for everybody. Can a line have 1 point on it? No, I think it'd just be called a point if it had 1 point, because a line is made up of multiple things. Yes, you cannot, there is not a pingable role in the Discord server. We used to have a pingable role and then people just abused it. So we took it down. So unfortunately the best way to get on there is, I would just, post questions inside the correct channels. And then if nobody is responding or you're not getting any help from there, then you should be able to see like what tutors are available on the Discord server. And then you can just add them. But yeah, the pinging feature just didn't really work out very well because students kind of got impatient, I guess, like, I mean, if they didn't get a response, I don't know, within like an hour or something, they would just ping, ping, ping. So it just got to a point where we realized like, hey, it's like, I mean, it's all voluntary. There's not, it's all voluntary server. So people are just trying to help people as best they can. So not everybody's going to be able to answer every question or anything like that. So it's, if you feel like your people aren't seeing it, then yeah, you can, at a tutor, but that's really kind of about it from there. Cheat sheet and spiral review. So I would definitely go and take a look at my video on cheat sheet from there. That really helped me retain a lot of information. And I think you should always be doing some review problems, always doing some spiral review. I have a lot of advice for someone taking pre-calculus. Yeah, I mean, you're actually, I'm going to have a video coming out this week. Getting ready for pre-calculus. I'll have a diagnostic test available for you next week. And then I will have I'll have a course that if you're interested in that you need extra help. But if you just want like just some kind of a basic advice, I think I could trying to think of the words like boil down advice. To this, I'm not going to bring on the questions. If you guys already have questions, you guys know where to go. Hopefully you guys already go to Discord server, go to there. Let's just put the tutoring up there. But I think my best pick of pre-calculus, what I see of a lot of students, is students get into pre-calculus and they feel like they might have been successful in math previously. So they feel like that pre-calculus is just like an algebra 3 or something, right? It's like, and a lot of times, no. So you're going to have to make that shift. And usually pre-calculus is that one where you're going to make that shift from into upper level mathematics. So, I'm not really sure where the point was. Like, if you never learned how to study before or anything else, like make sure you're doing the work. Make sure you are not getting complacent getting into pre-calculus. I would really make sure you're putting in extra work and extra time into pre-calculus. That's I guess one big piece of advice I would say. It is a lot of times a bigger issue, I think, than a lot of students sometimes think. They think, oh, pre-calculus, like I got an A in algebra 2, I'm all set. Like, not always the case. Do you film them when they're actually teaching, or you just, no, that was me during the classroom. So I stepped away from the classroom now. That's why I'm in a studio now. Instead of that, but yeah, that was me. That was me teaching when I record. So I basically now I just kind of teach tutor my own stuff. So you guys will see, I'm going to actually redo my upload schedule. And I'm going to redo my upload schedule and yeah, so I'm going to be posting a lot more videos, everything from algebra 1 through calculus. So I'm just going to be going through all of those curriculums and redoing a lot of my content. Yeah, I do. I think from what I've looked at, like, sometimes I think the books go a little bit deeper than I think for the general student. But obviously, if you are very interested in math, or if you're going into mathematics or hard science, then yeah, I think they're like an excellent book, especially if you're doing like, doing some self-study. I think they are really good from in there. I think for the general student, I probably wouldn't recommend them if you're just, struggling with math or need help. But if you're very interested in math and like a lot of like the nuances of it, or like getting challenged, I would definitely recommend those books. After your tutor, can I solve? I'm not sure what you mean after my tutor. Can I solve them? I'm not as familiar with the JE level questions, but yeah, I mean, you can definitely submit them or go to Discord and answer questions or post questions there for sure. Not so much. I don't like basketball because I'm not very good at it, so I don't follow it either. When I was growing up, during the winter I wrestled, so I was more of the wrestler rather than basketball. And I always was just really bad at basketball. I always kind of considered myself like decent at sports. I think basketball is probably one of those sports where I was worst at. So I've always kind of held a grudge of like not liking basketball because I was horrible at it. So I don't really get as much. I do actually follow college basketball. I do like college basketball quite a bit, but not really as much the NBA. Watching 2 videos from different, middle school. Very good. Awesome. Yes, I would definitely recommend. Well, hey, Saeed. I'm doing very good. Avery, good to have you on. This year and really love you could tutor me in that. IB Math AASL. I am not, but if you were to get on the tutoring, then I just have to look at the curriculum and see if that was going to be help out. So all you got to do to join in is you can see this little link right here to apply for tutoring. Just go to that. It's also in the description. It is also in the chat. So if you just want to go to that, then there is a whole bunch of questions you have to answer, a video you have to submit, and go from there. If you go ahead and submit that to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, that is the best way because I'm going to be moving on from here. So I will be going through as many as those. That's a great question. I think, writing down a lot of these questions is really going to writing down a lot of those formulas and reviewing them. I don't really prefer studying or memorizing formulas. I've just never really been a big proponent of that. So I always remind students do as many practice problems with those formulas and that will help you remember them. At least, it's not a great, I wouldn't say not great advice, but it's usually not what students are looking for. They want some kind of tip or trick to do it. But I just don't feel especially when you're taking a test and you have that anxiety and all that stuff going up there, then, yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm about to go in the 7th grade. Any tips? No, man, do your best. You got this. You can definitely, you can do it. Just do your homework, listen to your teacher, study hard and work hard. DSMA sucks at graphs, but it's good at everything else in pre-calc. Graphs stinks. I don't really worry too much about graphing. We use graphing calculators. We have Desmos and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what you're struggling with on the graphing front, but I would just try to do whatever you need to do to get by and then focus on all the other stuff that you can knock out of the park. For sure. Hey, you gotta, I am bringing back the tutoring sessions. So if it doesn't work out from there, I know you're, Rona, you were definitely, I know you're definitely on the free tutoring, the shots for last week or last year. So might work out. Again, what are the odds of getting a spot? So I don't know. We'll see how many. I'm going to probably transition over to the math here really quickly. I just want to get into some of these questions and then yeah, we'll get into the math stuff. I'm not sure about math 171, but yeah, feel free to submit using the link and we'll go from there. Do you have any advice on students who are in grade 7 but want to go deeper into Unimath, such as yeah, I don't have any direct advice. I think that's very obviously you want to talk with your teacher, talk with your math teacher, let your math teacher, let your guidance counselor know what you want to do. So therefore they can make sure that you're on the right path and taking the right courses with, whatever school curriculum, that you're going into. So, that's what I do. And then the best thing, you're so young, look into some self-study, right? Do some extra stuff. If you're, on the unfortunate thing about our educational system, I don't know where you are again, are based out of, but you can only you're only going to be able to do so much in 1 year. So, thankfully for you, there is many options, for you to go above and beyond, taking some courses, maybe, outside or on your own or doing some self-study that can help you really, go further along. Especially if you're going to be, getting into, a lot of those other topics that you're really interested in. So, you can satisfy what you need on the school day and then go a little bit more advanced from there. How do I approach statistics? I don't know how to approach statistics. Who's doing strong with it? What's the best way to study? Able to grasp pre-calculus concepts, but statistics seems, I'm right there with you. So unfortunately, I am not the right person to ask about statistics from on there. So we maybe need to figure that one out. But yeah, I just never really liked statistics. I only took a couple courses in it and I was just never interested in it. And that kind of impacted my ability to, I think, enjoy it and, retain a lot of the information. So I would maybe just, old school, get a tutor or maybe somebody you can work with as you're going, that kind of enjoys it. And maybe that can rub off on you. I'm a grade diploma. I'm not really bad at math, but any tips for algebra 2 cert? No, I mean, there's nothing really for Algebra 2 that's going to be different for any other class. Just make sure you're doing the work and, creating those cheat sheets, studying the problems that you do wrong. Algebra 2 is a really big course. So it's a really important course. So making sure that you really focus on a lot of those rules and don't skim over things. Um, I do not know, but I've heard from a lot of students that AP Stats is going to be easier than pre-calculus or than pre-calculus. I mean, as far as I'm aware, like Calc A, B, B, C, it moves fast and it's calculus. So, it's really going to depend on how prepared you are for calculus. And obviously ABBC is going to be faster and more in depth than calculus AB. Any tips for taking a time pressure test effectively without freaking out? Yeah, you gotta control your breathing. Make sure you study, make sure you're well prepared, and go from there. But yeah, it's control your breathing, try to get some good night's sleep is the best advice I can give for you. Oh, Sophia Juliana. I'm currently studying. That's one of my daughter's names. I'm currently studying for college entrance exam in my country, and speed mental math is extremely hard, especially for someone who isn't that inclined for math. Yeah, I can imagine that. Topics listed in the course make big difference. About to start uni next year. Would getting a head start in the topics listed on the course I wouldn't say make a big difference. I think it can definitely help you out, but I also think, you might be putting in more work into it than you might get out of it. So I think a good review of what you should know prior to the course is going to be more important than you going ahead, right? So I would definitely focus on the stuff that you were supposed to know or already knew. Like that's going to be more important than you trying to learn some of the stuff ahead on your own. Yes, I would. I really kind of slowed down how much hand graphing that I did in my classes. Hey, Miss Well, I stumbled on this stream. Well, awesome. It was on my homepage. That's awesome. But I just want to say thanks for your videos. I was able to pass my final. Well, awesome. Well, congratulations, Walter. And thank you so much for hopping in. You are very welcome, Mohammed. I don't know. I'd say mostly word problems though. I do not have any stuff sort of saying group theory. It's been a long time since I took group theory from on there. But yeah, I mean, I would just say with anything else, try to find somebody else that you can, kind of study with. Doing some spiral review. Just don't learn something and forget about it. Like go back to it, right? And create a cheat sheet to kind of organize all of your notes. Dammy skip my queen. Not sure. Do you know? I do not. I can tutor going into Woodbridge Academy, ranked 4th. Well, awesome. If you want to tutor, you can definitely go ahead and join my Discord server if you have thought about that. There is, I'm sure, a lot of people that would really love for you to be tutoring or to offer your tutoring services from there. So yeah, just go to there and you can answer questions. You don't need to become a tutor. The tutor role is actually something you have to earn on the Discord server. It's not just something that people are granted. So, that comes through helping other students. So, but yeah, if you love doing math and you love, improving your math understanding by helping others with their math, then I'd highly recommend checking out the Discord server. And if you just have questions from time to time on math, then I'd go to the Discord server as well. And bro, you are very, very welcome. All right, guys. I'm going to switch over to our comments here for our free tutoring session. So this is completely different. So this is one thing that I have been doing for, I don't know, the last couple of weeks here now. I've been doing this. And what we're going to do now is let's get that out of there. Sorry. Okay, so this is for just a 30-minute tutoring session with myself. Again, this is free, but this is not going to be posted on my YouTube channel or anything like that. This is really just for me to, kind of connect and kind of help out you guys whatever I can and just kind of have a little fun with that. So we'll keep the apply for tutoring up from there as well as we can. All right. So, I got 82 likes and 1 dislike. Dang, student. Dang. Okay. So anyways, that's last week's stream. So to get into the access in for the tutoring, all you simply need to do is just post a comment. I used to do like #mathhelp, but I really don't think it's really necessary from on there. I'll just take anybody that posts a comment on last week's stream and we'll go from there. So again, it's in the chat. If you want to go there, quickly type in a comment real quick. This is last week's stream. And then also, guess what? If you want to be nominated for next week, then you can make sure you post a comment in this stream, but not in the chat, a comment. So you got to wait till actually the stream is over to fetch us in there. So, all right, let's go ahead and see what we've got. Anything goes. Oh, only 4 comments. Wait a minute. That's kind of weird. Oh, well, I guess we only have 4 comments. So hold on a second. Let me just double check, because that seems really weird. And I want to make sure. Yeah, awesome. I only got 4 comments. So I'm going to go. Yeah, because a lot of people, a lot of don't see my chat. So it's cool. 4 comments. Here we go. And Rikva, hi. Oh, you just commented 6 minutes and 9 minutes ago. Awesome. Congratulations. I am going to chat now with this. You are the winner. You can go ahead and connect with me on Instagram at Brian McLogan, or go ahead and reach out to me on Discord. So let me tell you, congrats. You won. Only 4 comments, guys. Only 4 comments. You won. And again, that is for a 30-minute tutoring for me. So congrats, you won. And again, this is just for the 30-minute, not for the applications on Discord or Instagram at Brian McLogan. All right, cool. Well, congratulations, Rithvik Nandela. Boom. And I have just want to be really, really clear that the tutoring application is due. That's actually a really, really good teacher thing that I should have done, is put in a due date, which I did not. So I will say that I will let you know when the tutoring. I will probably say by the end of this month, by August. Yeah, by the end of August is probably going to be the end of the tutoring. So as of right now, I'm just kind of seeing where that's going, but it might be even sooner. So if you're interested in the tutoring, like, again, I'm not doing anything for the next week. So I'll probably say once I kind of promote my course within the next 2 weeks, then I should have a good application. So we'll just kind of see how, it comes in. I mean, obviously not everybody's going to be the right fit. There's going to be a lot of students, I understand, that are going to want tutoring for courses that, I haven't taught in years, or that I've never taught. There's going to be students that, I don't know, the tutoring is just not going to be a good fit, as far as timing and what they need. So, it might be, I have 4 students from this week, or it might be like, hey, I got 3 or I get 2, and I'm just looking for 2 more, right? So I got to put the word out again and kind of see if I can get the right, student. Because again, I don't want to do like everybody that lives in New York, or like everybody in the UK. Like, I want a very diverse group of students, and that can be diverse, ages as well. So, it's not just about students that are in a particular class or anything like that. Well, I don't want like all pre-calculus, students or stuff like that, or all like, I'm not doing upper level math, but you get the idea. I want like a variety. So if I'm just having everybody's in the same course or from the same area, that's not really going to be work out as well. Okay. For linear algebra, I won't be doing linear algebra. It's been way too long. So since I covered linear algebra, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the best for on that. Yeah, it is. Go ahead and put in your application. I'm just checking in. Love your channel. Grandfather just checking in. Watch all the time. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you to be able to help and have you join on. May I get your blessings for pre-calc exam that I have tomorrow. Best of luck, John. You got this. I think we've all kind of had those decisions before. All right. Okay. So all right, guys. So now I'm going to transition into the math portion, but I will see some of your guys' questions still popping up. And again, if you do have any questions as far as like the math stuff, feel free just to go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A. Again, it's in the description as well as in the chat, so you guys can definitely go there. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get to any more questions. We did chat for a much longer time, so I'm going to go through at least the questions that were pre-submitted. But I will be again here back next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So submit your questions before then, and I'll be happy to get to it. No, I probably won't be getting to AP Calc. I really want to do calculus. I really, really do. But I'm just going to focus on getting some content out there. Before I'm really, I think before I'm able to really kind of deliver good value with the pre-calculus, just our calculus from on there. So yeah, I think it's probably going to take me at least a year of going back through the curriculum and building up some of that stuff before I'm able to, before I like tutoring, I think will be helpful. There is a minor release there is an upload on the bottom that you can upload from on there. So there should be a file upload. If not, you can always email me at, I'll go and take a look at there, but there should be a way for you to upload that file. Our friend from the family channel, it's basketball. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, but go ahead and submit it to the question because I need to get you some of the math. That these are all questions that were pre-submitted. Okay, so let's get through the first one. Are you expected to memorize the unit circle? And I think my answer is probably going to be different than other teachers, but I say no. You do not need to memorize the unit circle. So I actually have a couple videos on this, and actually, wait a minute. Oh no, I memorized that. Oh, so anyways, I think in last week's live stream, if you actually go through the Q&A portion of that, go through the Q&A portion of that. And I did actually answer that. Or I did kind of talk about the unit circle, and then I did talk about the unit circle portion of that. And then I will have a new upload actually coming out from there. And actually, David, I got to answer your question because I was just so thinking about it. It was funny. Last year was my first year stepping away from the classroom. And I think I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like it just didn't really set in to me. And I think it was partially because we had like a lot of COVID restrictions going on, and I didn't really want to be back in the classroom under those circumstances again. But then this year, everything's kind of back to normal. My child is going to school, and yeah, it's been kind of really difficult. I've really kind of, I think since everything's being back to normal, I really want to. So yeah, it's been difficult because I really kind of miss the good. I miss the good and I don't miss the bad. And that's kind of my struggle, right? It's like, I don't want to go back to grading papers I don't want to go back to hating my Sundays because I have to do so much work before Monday. Right. And those are just really difficult times. I don't miss, being, all the pressure of everything from students and parents, on my, grades and stuff like that. I don't miss, the parent conferences that last hours, talking about my grading policy and nitpicking everything that I did. But I also just miss, the love of, being a teacher and being inside the classroom and helping students and overcoming their struggles and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I am going to, hopefully get back in the classroom, at least in some kind of element. But I don't know if I could be like a full-time teacher the way I was. I just don't know, but I do miss it a lot for sure. I would say happy to help, Mateo. And hey, Araf, good to have you on. All right, so let's get into this FOIL. So on this one, we have x plus 7 times x squared minus 3x plus 2. So there's one way you could do this, is you could do what we call the distributive property. And there you go. Actually, let's put this. Okay, so what the distributive property is saying, you need to multiply everything times everything. And then everything times everything. Now, when you do it like this, you're going to notice like that's a lot of multiplication problems, right? That's 6. So another way that I like to do it is just kind of organize this using the box method. And so what you're going to do is, the nice thing about the box method is that just kind of like keeps everything organized as far as your product goes. And then you can just kind of write the final answer. So what we're going to do is basically the number of terms that we have in one expression is going to be the number of rows we're going to make. So you can see we have 2, right? So I'm going to do 2 rows. And then the number of terms for the other one is going to be our columns. You can see we have 3. So I'm going to break that up like that. And basically when we are finding the product of 2 terms, basically what you're doing is you're finding the area. And that's what the product basically is representation of the area. So what I'm going to do here is, and you can see that's like an x plus 7, right? So just x plus 7. So now what we're going to do is just multiply length times width for every box. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 3x is a negative 3x squared. And again, notice it's the same thing here, right? X times 2, right, is a 2x. And then we're doing this. Now 7 times x squared, right, is a 7x squared. 7 times negative 3x, right? The next one is a negative 21x. And 7 times 2 is going to be a 14, positive 14. Now, the reason why I like this as well is also you can see on the diagonals, if you have terms that are in descending order, then on the diagonals, those are going to be like terms, right? So now I can just combine them and just write everything out. So I'll have an x cubed, and then this is going to give me what? A positive 4x squared. This is going to give me a negative 19x, and then plus 14. So it just makes everything a little bit easier for that. All right, so next student wanted me to go ahead and graph this. So 3x squared plus 2, if x is less than 1, and negative x plus 4. Okay, so what I would recommend for on this problem is let's go ahead and I think we can graph both of them on the same one. So I'll do this way. So sometimes you can graph them separately. Sometimes you can just graph them separately and then combine them. Or sometimes you can just graph them and then like redo their restrictions. So that's the way I'm going to do this one. So if I had 3x squared plus 2, we know that's going to have it's going to be shifted up 2, right? And then we're going to have a vertical stretch of 3. So basically what's happening here is I'm going to go, instead of going over 1, up 1, it's going to be over 1, up 3. So what's going to happen is when I go up 1, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's being vertically stretched. Okay, and again, you could just plug in some numbers. Like 1 should give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's check that. 3 times 1 squared is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, right? And that works for negative 1 because that's going to make that squared. Now, again, you could do like, again, another point, but really once we know what the shape is, then we're going to be kind of good, right? Okay, now for on this regard, what it says here is 3x squared plus 2, okay, if x is less than or equal to negative 1. Now, it says if x is less than or equal to negative 1. So here's negative 1, right? So this graph is only true for x values when it's less than negative 1. That means like over here, right? That's negative 5. Negative 5 is less than negative 1. So it's less than or equal to negative 1 right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is erase the rest of this, because the rest of it was positive, right? The rest of it was greater than negative 1, right? Here's 1, here's 5. Like all those values are greater than. So we're only going to include this portion. Then we have negative x plus 4. So now I'm going to go up to negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And now we're going to follow the negative slope. So again, that would be like down 1 over 1, right? Up 1 over 1. And so therefore you can graph that line. Looks like this. Now, obviously you can't do the whole line, right? Because then that would fail the vertical line test. So now we got to read what exactly is going on here. It says you're only going to graph this for x values that are greater than negative 1, not equal to, greater than. Sorry, not greater than or equal to, greater than. So it's going to be an open circle, and it's going to be all values that are going this way, right? So what that means here is now anything to the less of negative 1, we can actually get rid of. And therefore, that's what that graph would look like. Awesome. And so the minor release is just no. Is that the 3? No, there should be 2 uploads. Now you guys are making me go ahead and take a look. There should be 2 uploads for you in the form. And so basically, if you're under 18, I obviously need to have permission from a guardian that or your parents that you are able to be on camera from on there. So there should be a link for you to be able to upload that. So there should be a file upload. It says minor released, form from there. And again, there's a link in the description. You'll see for that minor release form. I have not taught that. We did not have that at school. So I'm fairly familiar probably with most of the content, but not at all. Or not all of it from there, at least from what I've seen. So the line of symmetry. It's a good one. All right. So in this case, what we need to do is understand the transformations that's going on. So let's look at the parent graph. Well, submit your application. It's the link up above or in the description. So in this case, we have y equals x squared. Okay, so that graph is going to look something like this. Okay, now what is the axis symmetry? So in this case, the axis symmetry is at x equals 0. Okay, that is the axis symmetry. So now we need to understand, well, what is everything that's happening over here? So there's a lot of things that's going on, okay? So I'm actually just gonna review everything that's happening here. We have this negative, okay? That's reflecting about the x-axis. Okay, so let's kind of look at something. If we took this graph and we reflected it about the x-axis, would that change the axis symmetry? No, right? That's not gonna change the axis symmetry. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next one is a 2. When you're multiplying by 2 on the outside, what is that doing? So that is going to be a vertical stretch. Okay, so when you're multiplying by a number that's larger than 1, forget the negative, the absolute value of it is larger than 1, that's going to be a vertical stretch. So again, look at this y equals x squared. If you stretch that graph or even compress the graph, doesn't really matter, does that change the axis symmetry? And the answer is no. So then let's go over to this example. What about 2? So that's going to be a vertical shift up 2. So again, look at this graph. If we shift this graph up 2 or down, doesn't really matter. If you shift that graph up or down, is that going to be moving this dashed line x equals 0? And the answer is no. So then we get to our final answer, which is actually what's happening here, is the plus 3. And what that's actually doing is shifting our graph left 3. Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite operation. If you think this is positive, then you're actually going to be moving to the left. So again, yeah, that's just to be clear for those of you that are a minor. Yeah, it's only for people that are under 18. So if you're over 18, you're good. But under 18, I need at least permission from somebody else besides you. So left 3. So x plus 3 is going to be shifting that graph like left 3, right? So therefore, if I took this graph and shifted it left 3, then where would this vertical asymptote go? Well, let's actually, what's going to happen here? Let's actually do everything. So I'm going to shift it left 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to shift it up 2. Okay, it's going to be vertically stretched, and it's going to be facing down. So now the graph's going to look something like this. Okay, but where's that axis of symmetry? X is equal to a negative 3. Okay, so there's going to be the line of symmetry right there. Go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A is the best place to go and get it. And then the last one that got submitted here is somebody's asking about worried I will forget problems. I can't remember what the student was asking. Like I was able to copy it. But it was some kind of weird thing. Like they were doing math problems at the back of their book, but then they were getting problems wrong. So they were studying the problems that they got wrong, and they were wondering how they could like get those problems, or they're worried about like not remembering how to do those problems that they got wrong. So like they're kind of asking like for what advice they could do. And my best advice, I think with that is like keep record of everything you got wrong, right? And go back over them. Like you should be like when you're doing, let's say $10 problems a week. Okay. If you're doing 10 problems a week, then yeah. And let's say you get like, I don't know, 3 problems wrong. Well, then like keep those like in a like a database, or not a database, I don't know, like a sheet of paper. And you should be constantly reviewing over those problems that you got wrong. Like just don't get them wrong, like study them and like move on. Like you should constantly be going over them and over them. So just to kind of, put that into perspective, one thing that I used to do is when I would get problems wrong, I would go back and work through them to like get them right. Like I'd cover up the problem, and I would cover up my work, and I would, maybe look at the answers, whatever, to figure out what to do. And then I would work on it until I got it right. So, I'd work on it however I could remember it. And then I'd check the answer. And if I got it wrong, then I would start all over again, and I would study what the correct answer was. And I'd kind of like go back through it. So I think it's really important. Like you're going to get the problem wrong. You might get the problem wrong once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Keep on going back and reviewing that stuff. Eventually that's going to, you're going to allow your brain to kind of make those connections, and you're going to get it right. I got through trigonometry with an A. Awesome. And I almost done becoming an engineer, and a big thanks to you. Well, you're very welcome. So happy to hear about that. All right. So I have a question for you real fast. So I had been in public school, then I switched to homeschool, and now I'm doing significantly worse in math. How can I help myself? Plus I also work too. Yeah, I think one thing that, I never was homeschooled, so I can't relate to you on that regard. The only thing I can think about is, maybe your resources might be limited. just from like going to homeschool and not, previously having experience at homeschool. So I would just look into like what are some what are some resources, what are some opportunities for you to be able to, get help, right? I mean, you should be learning math alone. So you should have either like online resources or some community resources or anything that you can do that can kind of give you a lifeline or to study with or to prepare with, I think would be immensely helpful. That'd be my recommendation. Uh, all right. Anyone who's doing math, I personally advise that you should have interest in it or try to make it a little fun. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think when you have interest in something, then it's gonna be more fun for you to enjoy, right? For sure. I would definitely agree with that. So, that popped in there. Okay, that was weird. Hopped in there. All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is it. If you are interested in the tutoring, then feel free, go to that link, sign up, guys. I can't wait to go ahead and review and take a look at all of your applications. I will be again here next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you do have any questions, go to brianmcculloughan.com/Q&A, or you can go and check in on the Discord server, guys. And I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you next week. Cheers.